Hello and welcome to one more series of tutorials on the Arduino Uno. This time we'll be talking about pin change interrupts in the Arduino and also about interfacing various types of motors with the Arduino Uno. So the brains of our projects would be the Arduino itself, and of course there are sensors which add sense to it, and then the final action or movement is brought about by motors. And when we couple up all these three together, we are ready to move. So in this series of tutorials, of course, we will be talking about the Arduino Uno. We'll be talking about this interesting device called the tactile switch. And we'll be using this to do a few projects like building a toggle switch to turn a DC motor on and off, and to get a servo motor to stop at specific angles. This would in turn translate to using a servo motor to cycle through a path. And in performing these projects, we'll be learning about pin change interrupts and tactile switches. So the key ideas that we shall be exploring are the pin change interrupt. Of course, there are regular things like functions, nested if-else loops. We'll also be exploring the use of a toggle switch and a servo library, and we'll be learning the important concept of switch debounce. Here's our shopping list, and there'll be some links in the description box which you can use. So here's a new addition to our device list, the DC motor. The one which we'll be using operates on about up to 12 volts DC, and here you can see that you have these connectors which can be used to even join a wheel to it. We have the servo motor, the MG996R. Note that this is a high torque motor and can operate through an angle of 180 degrees. And here's our interesting little device, the tactile switch. So this switch can be plugged into a breadboard, and as you can see here, it can operate in two modes. On the left, you see that whether this button is pressed or not, these terminals remain connected, and when we press this button, then all four terminals get connected. Now I'll be demonstrating the use of this switch by using a multimeter. So here's our tactile switch with a diagonally opposite terminals connected to the multimeter, and when I press the switch, the multimeter goes beep, indicating that there is continuity between these two terminals. You can see here that the multimeter is being kept in this continuity mode. Now I plug this out and plug it in here. So you can see that the two terminals are in line, and irrespective of whether I press the button or not, it continues to beep.